Alright, we are back on gaming. Let me say this now. Ever since this morning when I got on Twitter, all I saw was salt on the TL. Salt, everywhere, salt. And you know what? I like it. I like to see all that salt. And you know what? That's exactly what we're going to start off with today. Salty individuals or salty groups who don't know when to stop overreacting to specific, or should I say, small, minor things. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to start with the GDC. Now, before I get started on talking about it, let me say now that a number of you on Twitter tagged me into a conversation about the GDC and about people who were very upset about this because the way the women were dressed and dancing. And that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? And I'm going to prove that wrong as well, all right? But a lot of you, were tagging, and then you started arguing back and forth, and I stayed out of it because of simply this day I knew that I was going to speak on it. So I kept quiet on the situation until now. So let's get started, all right? The Xbox executives apologized for unequivocally wrong GDC party with scantily clad dancers, all right? And it says, MSHR says leadership was embarrassed and appalled. That's what they say, okay? Now, here's the thing, all right? You're going to come out and apologize for this, which you shouldn't come out and apologize for this. You've got to be kidding me that people are upset at these scantily clad dancers. We'll get to that in a minute, okay? But the fact that Microsoft came out and said that they were embarrassed by this and it was so wrong, it was so demeaning, and we apologize, is very hypocritical on Microsoft's end. So, for all these people complaining about these dancers that were at the GDC, okay? You know what? Let's see exactly how they were dressed. So that's what's got you triggered. Really. That's all it took for you to get so fucking salty and make an article and have all these complaints? Are you fucking kidding me? Look, I put it like this, to call it scantily clad, it tells me, whoever wrote this fucking garbage article, alright? And then said the articles are from GameSpot. And I used them purposely due to the fact that they had updates on the issue that no one else had. But also, to show you their hypocrisy as well, okay? If that is scantily clad, then that means you've never seen a woman in lingerie, you've never been to a strip club. You know what, SJWs, don't go to Miami in the summer. Just don't do it. You're going to see so much shit from women walking around, you may just kill yourself, okay? Don't do it. Don't go to Vegas either in the summer. Don't do it. You've got to be kidding me that, even on the video game front, you see more in GTA than this. Come on. But this is what you want to point out and say, the way they're dressed has me triggered. I want them fired. This is wrong. This is unequivocally wrong. And it's disgusting. And it's horrible. And it's embarrassing. And you want to call it everything in the book. Are you fucking kidding me? You are missing the mark here on what is going on. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, because everyone is so focused on this, on this issue of women, the way they're dressed and dancing, that you actually had males come out who were back in the SJWs, were like, yeah, maybe they should have had some male dancers too to even it out. Are you fucking serious? That's the answer. Look, stop being fucking stupid. I say this due to the fact that if you look at the picture, people are minding their business. You want to know why? Because people are having fun. That's how the real world works. There's a woman right in front of them. What's going on? She has her back turned because she's dancing and having fun. If you look at all the other faces in the crowd, everyone's looking here, they're looking there. No one cares. Nobody cares. If you go to a club and you see women dancing like that, guess what? No one cares. But it seems like you leave it up to these people who just sit around and don't do shit all day. You know what I mean? They're so, stuck in their own house, and they want to play the PC police, the PC dictator police, and you want to sit here and say, this is absolutely wrong, I don't like the way they're dressed, they need to be fired. Let's be clear, all right? These women are up there dancing, they got paid for that. They weren't slaves, they weren't captured and thrown up there and say, dance for us. No, they got paid for that. So because you're upset with the way they are dressed, you want them to lose their fucking job. You're taking money out of other women's pockets because you think it's not PC. Other women, social justice warriors. That's what you're doing right now. No one wants to see that though. But like I said, you're missing the bigger picture here. Because we're going to come back to that. Okay? You're missing the bigger picture. You have to understand that this is not a gender issue. This is not a sexism issue. This is a business issue. And I say this due to the fact that you say, oh, well, they put that on there, that's bad business. No. if you have not been paying attention over the years, companies have done this time and time again. How many times have we seen developers, we've seen YouTubers come out and say, they want us to push their product. They were offering us, escorts to, to try and satisfy us so that they can get us in their pocket and we'll, promote their game for them. No one wants to talk about that shit though, right? We'll talk about that a little bit more. Like I said, Microsoft hypocrisy. But like I said, everyone's missing the big mark here. So the target should be, look how the business end of all this, the way they're trying to appeal to certain people or bait certain people to get into their pocket, they will do anything, all right? Whether it's having women up there dancing, that's just entertainment. They ain't shit compared to them of what we've seen over the years, actually hiring escorts for people, to say, hey, give us a good, a good review or whatever. We'll give you an escort. No one wants to talk about that shit. No. And we've seen this time and time again. But since you want to stick on this issue about how women are dressed and how it's wrong and it's scantily clad, where were you back in the day? Baby, how was I supposed to know? It's Britney, bitch. Like, seriously, where were you then? Let's talk about this real quick. So, let me get this straight. When this video came out, alright, because sales boomed, as we know, let's be honest here. This was all over MTV, TRL. This was pushed towards kids, towards teenagers, towards tweens, because that was the market, remember? Okay, remember that. So, all the type of clothing style, like I said, you still see it to this day being worn like that, alright? But kids were buying it up. You had albums being bought through the ass for Britney Spears. She made a ton of fucking money on this, alright? But if we see it in a controlled environment when it comes to, what they're putting on at a show, at the GDC as a celebration, right? In front of adults, not kids, in front of adults, because it was okay for kids, but adults. Now you want to say, it's scantily clad, I can't take this anymore. People need to be fired. Are you fucking serious? But, like I said, let's talk about the hypocrisy of all this. Because, like I said, GameSpot article. That's right. Same GameSpot that said it was scantily clad and people need to apologize and blah, 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 blah. We're going to update on it. Right. GameSpot. People who are so mad at these women. I want to explain this to you, all right? Because I want to know, since Microsoft wants to apologize for that issue, why haven't they apologized for this, okay? YouTube Network's deceptive marketing Xbox Live campaign case has been settled. Machinima influencers will need to clearly disclose when videos are paid for. Now, in the article, alright, Microsoft, they don't apologize for shit. Actually, they go the opposite direction. They say, this doesn't represent us, this isn't us, this is clearly an isolated incident. Yeah. I get real tired of hearing that everything that happens bad is an isolated incident, especially when you keep seeing it happen for years and years and years to come. Yeah. But it's amazing that this is the route you want to take. So you don't apologize for YouTubers that you paid $45,000 to influence their fans, because guess what? Their fans are stupid as fuck to listen to them enough when it comes to buying products, when it comes to buying something like that, instead of saying, hey, look, yeah, he's trying to, sell the product to us, but let me do my own research. No. They don't want to do that. They're just going to keep influencing you so that you buy the stuff that they say, that's okay. It's absolutely fucking wrong. And that's what's wrong with our community. No apologies for that, though. YouTubers, they're not going to apologize. They got paid. They're not going to apologize for that shit. You know what I mean? Microsoft takes no responsibility. YouTubers take no responsibility. Machinima not taking any really responsibility until everyone was caught. If you haven't realized that. But for some reason, we're supposed to worry about the women's and the way they're dressed. And I thought the women were supposed to save us. I thought, where were you at? You're supposed to save us. But I don't understand how you can get so upset over these women who really aren't dressed bad. I mean, like I said, that's nothing compared to if you're watching, you saw a woman in lingerie or go to a strip club. That's nothing. Nothing. But we're going to make a big deal out of this. Like I said, it just seems like, when I'm looking on Twitter, I'm seeing these comments on it, seems like a lot of jealousy, a lot of angst, and a lot of salt. NFGC news. Pokken Tournament punishes rage quitters. That's right. And you know what, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't do enough. It does the same thing that Street Fighter does. It takes money away from you or points away from you. And people are saying, no, what they need to do is put them on timeout for a bit. Because if you keep rage quitting, you should be taken off the internet for a number of minutes before you get back online to play. And I agree with that. But as we know, Pokken is pretty much dead in the water already. And I know people are saying, what do you mean it's dead in the water? We'll talk about it later about the WiiU. Okay? But let's move on. I know that's a bad setup, but let's move on, alright? King of Fighters 14, that's right. Producer says that The Last Blade 2 is coming and wants to make a Garou sequel. That's right. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's just see how well King of Fighters 14 does. It looks like it's going to do really well, as we've seen already, but you never know. Community can sometimes get a little weird. You know how that goes. But, like I said, King of Fighters, I feel as though is going to be successful. We know the other games that are coming in the future. We already know that they talk about Samurai Showdown and all this other stuff. So we will see. As long as they keep doing this the way they're supposed to, and Metal Slug and all that, if they keep doing this, they'll keep me as a customer. They will. All right? Let's move on. Final round. Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, final round. Oh my God. I'm not going to talk too much on it because for what I've seen, people are they're mad. They're very upset. We've seen people like Jay Bailey come out and pretty much trash final round. You know what I mean? Got to the point where, he was saying that people didn't know where they had to be. It's like 4 in the morning. They didn't find out what bracket they were in or what time they had to be there. So people didn't catch that at that time. Some said there were 2 in the morning. Some said it was 4 in the morning. But people were late. And, of course, they were automatically DQ'd because of said issue. He also said they didn't expect the sheer amount of numbers when it came to Street Fighter V. There was like 1,000 people there who wanted to play. They couldn't handle the volume of people. Apparently, there was just so many things that were wrong in this issue. People, like I said, I would link it into the info bar because it was sent to me, and then when I went back this morning to look at it, it was unavailable for some reason. And like I said, places like Destructoid wrote articles and say Jay Bailey just trashes final round, blah blah. And I'm thinking to myself, because we had this talk not too long ago, me and Dr. Rectangle. It's amazing how people who have been complaining about these things for years about final round, nothing is said. You know what I mean? Because even Jay Bailey said, all they want to do is apologize and keep doing the same thing. He was like, but when you've been doing it for, 19 years now, and you still can't get down to basics, it's a problem. You know what I mean? But when gamers say that, or lesser-known gamers say that, no one listens. So it takes someone like Jay Bailey to come out, and he literally said, I don't care what bridges I burn when I talk about this issue. He comes out and says that. And everyone's like, yeah, you're right, we're behind you. When I come out and say, I don't care who I offend or what bridges I burn, I talk about an issue, oh, you're just a pleb, you're a cuck, blah, blah, blah. I just don't understand the popularity here, all right? Because at the end of the day, we're all people. And if you see something that's going on, and you see that, hey, this needs to be taken care of, I don't understand how you can be discredited because you don't run a tournament, or you didn't win a major or whatever. It's in your face. If it's being ran wrong, it's common sense. It is. Now, look, of course, there's been people already that are saying, tournament organizers that are saying, look, it's one of those things where even if it's a subpar event, you can still enjoy yourself at the subpar event. You can. No one's going to be sitting around and moping around and being depressed the entire time. Because for those who don't know, Jay Bailey left a day early. He was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm done with this. And he left early. Yeah, took an early flight out because he's disgusted by it. I put it like this. Can you imagine, and Dr. Rectangle brought this up as well, can you imagine all of the players that spent X amount of money on tickets to get to, on a plane and buying to get in the final round and then paying for the tournament, only to find out that late in the morning, or I should say you didn't find out until, till later that morning because they posted, the brackets and everything too late. And you get to your tournament and then you're disqualified automatically. So you spent all that money, and you didn't even get a chance to fucking play. Like, there is a problem here. And, of course, like Jay Bailey said, they'll apologize, but that's it. There's a lot of people who should get their money. Like, if that's simply what they went for, just to compete, I'm not saying, to hang out with friends. They went solely to compete because they thought they had a legit shot at winning, and they spent all that money only to be DQ'd, and you didn't get the brackets out on time. They deserve it. As far as I'm concerned, they deserve their money back. They deserve it. Seriously, who is waiting? And I know a lot of people say, well, you're going to be up in the morning anyway playing and trying to get everything together. No. I'm sorry. But after a certain time, I'm going to want to go to sleep. You know what I mean? We see it time and time again. People get DQ for what? Oversleeping. Don't they sleeping too late, don't they? All right. So when are these players supposed to get their rest if you don't have the brackets and the setups that, already out there for them? And then if they do make it, and they're not 100%, because let's be honest here, they're tired, they're groggy, they're not at 100%, and then you go up against other players and they lose, it's like, okay, fatigue set in, all this other problem set in. Like, you have to understand, if you get your brackets out early and you get that stuff done, that means they know when to eat, they know when to sleep, they know when to do all these things, because they have to be organized so that they're fresh and ready to play. But the fact that that didn't happen, and final round, of course, like I said, they're not going to really take responsibility on the issue. It's just, we're sorry. Like I said, it's been going on for years. And it took Jay Bailey to finally come out and say something, which is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, in that thread, when he said something, then everyone started complaining. Like, all the players, and then they started complaining. So it took him to spark that. So then everyone said, yeah, we'll jump on this wagon and we'll complain, because it's a legit complaint. But it shouldn't take him to come out and say something for to get some attention. And from other, media sites. And speaking of other media sites, let me say this now. It's been 2 weeks. Still haven't written anything on the whole Lupe thing, have you, media? No. You'll write about final round and Jay Bailey going off, but you won't write about... Okay. All right. You know what? Let's move on. Because I do want to talk about people who have been just ass-kissing in general. All right? For those who don't know, Street Fighter V's changes are for the greater good. Ryan Hart says the community needs Street Fighter V to succeed. Mind you, Ryan Hart he holds the Guinness World Records for, I believe, international tournaments, I believe he won. Let's get something straight here, all right, from a person who's played Street Fighter from the beginning, all right? And I'm not very happy with what I see already, as you people know. First off, changes for the greater good. The greater good. No, stop. There's not the greater good. Stop. That's this. You're giving it way too much credit. Number one, all right. And for Ryan Hart here to say the community needs Street Fighter to succeed. No, it doesn't. There's a reason it's called the FGC, Fighting Game Community. It means that Street Fighter, though it's popular, all right, you have to understand that it's not the end-all, be-all. It's not. That's what it comes down to, all right? But if you want the game to succeed, you shouldn't be talking about how the community needs it to succeed. You should be looking at the developers and saying you should be doing your job. That's how it'll succeed, because if it's a good game, people will support it. But no, that's not the route you want to take, is it? No. But those don't know what I'm talking about. Street Fighter V input lag is more than 4 times that of Skullgirls, MKX, or Ultra Street Fighter 4. There is a comparison video. The link is in the info bar so you can see just how bad this game is. Yet, we're sitting here talking about how it needs to succeed. The community! Fucking unbelievable. And here's the thing. Capcom, alright? If you want this game to succeed, I'm still waiting for this patch. I'm still waiting for the God tier patch that everyone says, you should wait till March, because they were told March is almost over. It's almost over. Where's the patch? And like I said, it better be the fucking second coming for you to charge $60 for this garbage. You've got it better be on point. It better be. I'm not trying to hear any defense force. Well, they did give us some stuff, and they missed this, but that's okay. We'll wait for the next patch. I don't want to hear that shit at all. This shit better, the way y'all been hyping this shit up, alright, when it comes to the patch, it better be 100, but it better be fucking perfect. It better be no fucking problems with it, as far as I'm concerned. But, Capcom, while you're too busy trying to, get people to calm people, others, I should say, down about this patch, you're going on to bring out more bundles. Like, you put out a bundle for this shit, but you didn't fix it yet. You would have thought that Capcom and Capcom, because like I said, if you're going to sit here and defend this shit and try to say, oh, everything's okay, and you're just entitled, that's what it is, that's Capcom, that's the defenders, Capcom, alright? You would think that the priority would be to fix the game first before deciding to milk your consumers when it comes to money. But that's not the Capcom way, is it? No, never has been. And you still want to defend this shit. Okay, you have fun with that. Like I said, that update, it better be so gala. It better come. It better rain down from the heavens. Like I said, better be the second coming. It better be. But I have some more news for you when it comes to eSports. I've been trying to tell you guys and girls that this was going to happen. I've been telling you, but you didn't want to listen. I've given you so many solutions, so many different ways. You can't sit here and say, I just hate esports and it should be gone. I've been saying, this is how you can fix esports. I've given you a number of ways you can try and fix it, have I not? I've told you what to look out for, the warning signs. Well, now that you don't want to listen because you gave me a lot of shit for it, alright? Since you don't want to listen to that, the takeover is coming. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I want you to listen to Rick Fox and what he's saying about esports.
They're saying, Jimmy Rollins from the White Sox, A-Rod, Shaq, all teamed up to get a esports team, Energy Sports. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. The more they get in, the merrier.
Now, will there be like an added level of competitiveness when you face off with these guys that you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You kind of want to.
It was already because the Energy was owned by the Kings, the Sacramento Kings.
Right.
So we've been going back and forth already with a few friendly bets, but adding Shaq and A-Rod to the mix.
So you don't think
tightens it?
Have any of them hit you for advice? Has Shaq hit you up and pick your brain?
Shaq and I have spoken. I get a lot of calls. Baron Davis just hit me recently, so a lot of guys want to know about it, want to get in.
There's more people out there that are about to jump in.
Well, there's a lot of gamers out there. A lot of professional athletes are gamers to begin with.
Yeah.
So their curiosity is ideal to want to know if there's business behind it. If you saw, I think Kobe even mentioned when he retires, he's already talking about just competing in a lot of video game play. So
really? When do you think this can really become bigger than like an actual professional sport like football, baseball, MLB, like NBA?
Well, look, it's in that conversation now. It's just fifth. And so now it's just fifth right now.
You're fifth place?
We're in fifth place, and it's coming.
How many years? Give me a real estimate.
2 years it'll be on par with the NHL.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're coming, and they're coming for what you love. I will put it like this. I've been trying to tell you gamers, all right, that this was going to happen. I told you last time that when it comes to this type of stuff, you're going to have to clean up the way you act, the way you talk, and things of that nature. And what did you people say in the comment section? You called me a faggot for it. Like, are you serious? This is business now. This is who you have to compete with now. It's not just your thing. It's not just on the business end, because that's what he's talking about. The business end first. Which means these guys have a lot of money, a lot of influence, a lot of connections. They're going to take what you've created and they're going to make it so big that they don't even need you anymore, all right? Then they talk about how they're just going to face off. They're going to become competitors, gamers. Do I need to remind you the fact of between the athlete, the jock, and the gamer back in the day on how the jocks would shun you away and call you a bunch of names and you would go to the arcade because that's where you were accepted? Now, we're seeing the jocks wanting to be part of the group. You understand that? And I can see it already. I can see Markman licking his chops. Ooh, we got some more celebrities. We can put them up there, and then we can have players sandbag to them. I will put it like this, gamers. It doesn't matter if it's esports now, so it doesn't matter if it's fighting games. It doesn't matter if it's Halo. It doesn't matter if it's Call of Duty. I don't give a shit what game they play. Gamers, this is your realm now. You get to them before they decide to get to you. They've already let you know what they are doing, this is Takeover. The idiot, I put it like this. If you're going to be idiotic to tell people your plans via Takeover, because that's what it is. Because company takeover, mass market takeover, that's what it is, okay? Don't get confused with all the little lingo he's talking about. If you listen to what he's saying on the business end, and Baron Davis contacting all these professional athletes, because they know how the business is run when it comes to sports in general. I told you this before. When players, if you're going to think that you're going to do something like, get a contract. You know what I mean? You have some sponsorship, but you need an actual contract to know that you were paid. You know what I mean? You have to watch what you say. These athletes, all right, that have dealt with the system. I told you this. This is going to happen. They know these things. And now they're going to bring it down to you. They're going to pretty much drop the hammer on your esports. We've already seen. We already know. TBS is getting into esports. Yahoo's getting esports. NFL Network's getting esports. Now you got Rick Fox coming out here and saying, I got Shaq, I got Baron Davis, I got Kobe, I got A-Rod, I got Jimmy Rollins. I got all these athletes now, professional athletes, celebrities, they'll be looked at as celebrities, are coming in and they're going to take over. And you don't have a problem with that. Because, oh my God, I'm so starstruck. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is something you need to meet them. Like, as far as I'm concerned, gamers, get your hit lists ready, get your call-outs ready, call each and every one of these guys the fuck out. Seriously. Those, like Rick Fox, he's been retired. He's available now. Shaq, he's available now. Baron Davis, for those who don't watch my sports videos, he just signed a contract with the D-League when it comes to the Sixers, so he's busy. A-Rod, he ain't doing shit. You know he's not doing shit. All right? Kobe is still playing, so he's not going to be available just yet. When he retires, he's talking about competing. This is not just about the business when it comes to, giving money in, behind the scenes. It's not just that. No, they're talking about stepping into the limelight and doing what you do. And because they're celebrities, you will be overshadowed. You understand it, right? Not to mention, like I said, all the power, politics and power plays that we're going to see with this. You need to lay down to Kobe because, he's a celebrity. And that's what's going to draw ratings. Get them now. Get them now. Because if you don't get them now and they come in and there's nothing to it, you're going to be in trouble. So every Twitch streamer that you see, when a network takes over, that's it. The masses will watch that, but not the Twitch streamer. You know what I mean? It's going to be sad. So gamers, they're literally invading what you do. And if they want to say that they're gamers, you know how this goes. We're going to be competitors to step in this. Well, as a competitor, step up to the plate. Anytime. That's how it works. But when I say this, y'all going to say I'm hating and all this other crap. And y'all just want it to go to shit, huh? Y'all just want to. And like I said, it's not, listen, to community in general, because I see what you guys and girls say in the comments, and even you're like, you know what? Yeah, I don't like the way this is going. But the vast, the other majority of people, you have to understand, there has to be a line drawn. All right? Just like if you challenge someone to Street Fighter or challenge someone to any other game, a line is drawn to, to you play. It's time you start doing it with them. It's time to stop laying down. The one time that you have a chance to fucking do something, which is in your realm of video games to play. Whatever. Let's move on. For those who don't know, Final Fantasy 14. That's right. Content is coming to Phantasy Star Online too. I'll put it like this. Why don't you try bringing the game over to the fucking West first? Then we'll talk about content. How about that shit? Alright, let's in more news, speaking about coming over to the West. Yakuza 0 launches early 2017 in the West. So it is coming. Alright? Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan won't have local/couch co-op. That's right. But it will have online co-op. Now, we've talked about this for a number of, I would say, years. How online co-op is just going the way of just, I guess, the dodo bird, if you want to say. They're killing online co-op. They're killing LAN play, all right? But they want you on their networks. So they'll give you online co-op. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's not that big of a deal. I can sit in my house. Yes, but what if you had friends over? Some of us still have friends to come over and play with each other. And they said he can't do it. The developers wanted to do it at Platinum Games, but they said that the split screen would mess up all this stuff. And I see a lot of people already saying, that's just being lazy. Just take your time. But we will see what happens. But you are getting online co-op at least. I know that sounds like a cop-out because you should have local co-op. You should. But, like I said, the things that you got then, you don't get now. Anyways, speaking of things that you got then and don't get now, Overwatch developers create a game you can play by sound. Announcing Dolby Atmos support. This is amazing, alright? It is amazing. I will get to what I'm talking about, what you get then and don't get now, okay? I will. But I feel as though that's amazing. I feel you can play the game by sound. You don't need to see it. That's very accessible to gamers who are impaired, you know what I mean, with their sight. I feel as though that is a great thing to do. Of course, they matched up with Dolby, so, of course, there's a business aspect there. But still, the fact that it's accessible to people who are impaired that way, I feel that's great. Sony. Let's talk about Sony because, I keep hearing people saying that Sony is your friend. And once again, Sony is coming out, or for what we hear so far, reportedly is coming out with the PlayStation 4.5. Now, we don't know what this is going to do to early adopters of the PlayStation because of what they're talking about in the details. We're going to ramp up the GPU and all this other stuff because they want 4K for, visualization for the games. I don't know if they're going to make you buy, because they say they don't know if they're going to have an update or if they're going to make you buy a new console. Something tells me they're going to make you buy a new console. I just feel as though that's going to happen because there's also an article that I'll leave in the info bar. Sony and Microsoft adopting Nintendo's handheld strategy, but for consoles. Meaning, they even give you a chart to see how Nintendo did with their 3DSs and all, and how they have you keep buying, handheld after handheld, but they're going to try it with it's possible they'll try it with consoles. If this is the case, this is going to be a horrible, horrible mistake. But we know that Microsoft has already said they're trying to come out with something that you can update just the one Xbox, and you won't have to keep buying consoles. So, kind of conflicting reports that we're seeing not too long ago, but you never know. But the stats in the charts, they don't lie. Nintendo has made a killing off of these 3DS. Every time you buy one, there's another one. It's one of those things, man. It is. But if Sony is going to try this and say, hey, we really are coming up with a 4.5, I don't know whether to be sad at early adopters of the PlayStation 4 or laugh at them for just buying. Like I said, had no games. They had a bunch of remasters. It's sad. Hopefully they don't make people buy a new console. I really hope they don't. That would be horrible. Also in more news, Microsoft survey asked if you would sell back your digital games at 10% of what it's worth. Really, Microsoft? Seriously, do y'all know what this means? What Microsoft will turn into? Wow, Microsoft, you really are trying to fuck over gamers this week, aren't you? First, you don't take any responsibility for trying to influence gamers to buy an Xbox One. Now you're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to do this. That you're really going to give gamers 10%. Look, I put it like this. With GameStop, people already hate GameStop for their trading value, okay? Already hate it. But always the defense for GameStop has been, well, there's physical wear and tear on a product. Regardless, they sell it to you full price, they only give it to you for 10%, of the cost because, wear and tear. And then what do they do afterwards? They mark it back up, do they not? That's what GameStop does. Microsoft, you're using GameStop's business model, but except on digital games. There's no wear and tear on digital games. For you to only give 10%, absolutely not. That is absolutely ridiculous. And this is a survey because they're thinking about doing this. Gamers, say no to this, please. You should be demanding more for your digital products. There's no way in hell you can only offer 10%, all right, for a digital. Like I said, there's no wear and tear. That was always the excuse with GameStop, all right? And people still didn't buy that shit, all right? You think you're going to come in with your digital fucking games, 10%? And in the article, like, well, 10% is better than nothing? No. See, that's the problem. People get complacent. They just say, all right, well, we'll just take it on the chin. Stop laying down. You are the consumer. You understand how much power you have? Jesus Christ. Let's move on. Let's fucking move on. Capcom. Survey. They ask you whether you would like Mega Man 11. I didn't think you needed to fucking ask. How many years have people been saying, please give us a Mega Man? Please give us a Mega Man. And then you come out with a survey saying, would you like Mega Man? Are you fucking, are you trolling? You have to be trolling. You would have to be blind, deaf, and fucking dumb not to understand that that's what your community has been asking for. And if you had to put out a survey that tells me, like I said, it's either you're trolling or you never listened. It's that simple. And if you never listened, then you just screwed over your own community. I mean, they've been talking about this since, was it Marvel vs. Capcom 3? They've been talking Mega Man Legends 3. Like, we don't need to go back and see that people wanted Mega Man. And for you to do something like, no. If anything, that's more of a disrespect. If anything, to put out that survey. You don't need to ask. You know people want it. That's bullshit. Unless you weren't listening, which says then you weren't listening to your fan base at all, and you just disrespect your fan base. Either way, you fucked up on that survey. Now let's move on. Nintendo. Now, I talked earlier about Pokken and how it's already dead in the water. Rest in peace, Pokken. Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, Nintendo to end production on the Wii U this year. Yeah. So, come out with a hot product like Pokken, alright? And this year, just discontinue the Wii U overall this year. Now, there's a couple of problems I have with this. I feel this is, alright. First off, you're ending the product, your discontinuation of making Wii U's, alright? Just not too long ago, we heard Reggie say that he would still support the Wii U community, then turn around and discontinue the product of Wii U's. Okay. Alright. So, that's number one. Number two, unless you can transfer Pokken over to the NX, which we still haven't seen much on the NX just yet, alright, then, like I said, this game is dead in the water. I find this highly wrong, especially for a Pokemon fighter game. And, Nintendo, you fucking up. You are. You fucking up big time. Like, there's already talk of that your save files, depending on what game, like Xenoblade Chronicles, you can transfer over to the NX because they're coming out with a sequel to the game. So, stuff like that I can understand. Like I said, if they do it with Pokken, it's fine. You know what I mean? But right now, that you discontinue Wii U's, and like I said, this is one of those things like I feel about Street Fighter V. How the patch should be godlike. The NX, it better be on point. It better be. Because if not, then you just killed the Wii U for no reason. I know people are going to say, well, if you look at the manufacturing cost and you look at the hit they were taking, they weren't selling at at really a profit. Guys, you have to understand, you just can't just kill a console that way. You just can't. But then again, they haven't really had much third-party support, have they? Is that going to change when it comes to NX? Because I think, if anything, Nintendo needs to address that issue first before they decide, we're going to make a new console. But as we know, these companies, they're starting to make consoles years before, and they already have stuff in plans in the works, you know what I mean? I think that Nintendo really needs to nail that down first before deciding, we're going to debut the NX, or even talk about the NX, or show you specs of the NX, and then you don't know what the fuck is coming from it. You know what I mean? You don't know what's coming from it. So, I don't know. But in more Nintendo news, more sad Nintendo news, Nintendo is killing the Super Mario Maker community, and nobody knows why. That's right. Now, for those who don't know, mostly this article focuses on one player mostly, but then they say that many others have had this problem as well, and they don't know why their content's being cut. Now, as we know before, because this guy's, all his stages were just wiped. All of them. We're not talking one or two, you know what I mean? And we're not talking because of popularity reasons either, because that wasn't the case. They're just being wiped out. At one point, they thought because the guy's username, or whatever he was labeling them, maybe it would have been offensive. You know what I mean? So they can't have that. But then Nintendo came out and said, no, that's not the case either. So they're just wiping out stages just to wipe out stages and not giving anybody any real answers. And that's hurting the Super Mario Maker community. Nintendo really needs to, to really address this issue. This is not right. It's not. But in more news, update for Fire Emblem. That's right. Fire Emblem Fates fan translation that was coming has ceased development. That's right. They're saying, the people who are translating said they're tired, they feel it's not worth it, they're not doing it anymore. And for what they have already translated, they will keep to themselves and not give to the public. So, people who were happy about the Fire Emblem's, update, yeah, you're not going to get it now. So pretty much, this is the product you have to deal with. Unless someone else is going to come in and step in and say, we'll do this, it's dead. Just to let you know. And more news. Like I said, all this sad news, sad Nintendo news. Hyrule Warriors Season Pass DLC has been detailed. That's right, Season Pass. I remember a long time ago that Nintendo said they weren't going to go this route, were they? No, they were against DLC. Now you're giving us Season Passes. Look, we saw how it worked with, Mario Kart, and people got a little happy about it. Nintendo was like, okay. And then they started pushing in other games, and people bought it, and Nintendo was like, okay. But they were against it. And now you're having this. You're going to get 4 DLC packs over the time of 2016. Just sad. You know what? Speaking of more season passes, like I said, just sad. Okay, let's just say you want to buy the season pass for, Hyrule Warriors. Okay, you bought it. Now, Lego Avengers. Lego Avengers is having a season pass. Detail. I'll put a link in the info bar. So now Lego Avengers has a season pass. Oh my god, speaking of things that you had and you don't have anymore, I wanted to get to that. Lawbreakers is no longer free to play. That's right, it is now a Steam exclusive. Just to let you know. Yeah. Also, EA. And their bullshit. I'm not saying just their bullshit. EA and their bullshit. Alright? For those who don't know, Muslim fighter from UFC gets upset because his victory pose is of a Christian. That's right. Now, when I saw this, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. EA didn't do this. But then again, I don't think many people really cared. But the fighter cared enough to tweet EA about it. Now, EA has apologized for the issue, like I've said, but here's the hypocrisy once again, just like Microsoft. Here's the funny part, because if you look at that guy's mentions, right? Gamers don't care about politics. They don't care about religion. EA, they just want you to fix the game. But you're not apologizing for that, are you, EA? No. Once again, the products you put out, the things that you put out, you won't apologize for. But when the fighter comes out because he's in the game, now we have a problem here, and we have to apologize to that person. All right? Like I said, it's one of those things where people don't care about the religion part. He cares. Clearly, he cares. So you can't really get on him about that. He cares. And they'll say, okay, we'll fix that. But if the gamer says, look, this is a problem, the controls are a problem, but the spamming of body kicks is a problem, and EA's just like, deal with it. Like, are you serious? Like, come on, man. Like, it's just, EA. They said companies in general. We've seen it all today. Like I said, you're the consumer, you're buying the product. They don't give a shit if you buy it and you have a complaint. But if someone else complains, about a serious issue, or I shouldn't say even a serious issue, it's a religious issue that's, that is serious to him. But as you can see, the community doesn't care about the religion. They don't care about the religion part. They just want their game to be good. That's what it comes down to. All right? So we've seen, people get upset over fake, sexism earlier. Apologize for that. But we won't apologize for trying to influence you to buy our products. No, I won't do that. We can apologize for, a celebration, a victory celebration, which is, like I said, which is very dear to that guy, which is understandable. Apologize for that. But we won't apologize for, what's going, all the bad things that are going on in the game. And then you have people on YouTube who are being shills still saying, this game is hot. This game is hot. Obviously, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, let's move on. Let's talk some positive news. Let's some positive news, all right? Visage. I showed you the trailer for Visage before. It's fully funded and then some. I told you before they were only asking for $90,000. I believe they got roughly around $120,000. So they've made goal. This game will be coming out. I will be looking forward to it. Also, Hardcore Henry is becoming a video game. I kind of figured that was going to happen. Because if anyone has seen this trailer, don't get me wrong, the movie looks good. It's one of those just brainless movies that you should have fun with. And if you've seen the commercial, they have said, Engadget came and was like, this reminds me of Call of Duty. And I'm like, yep, it's coming. And now they're saying it's going to be a video game. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Also, in more news, an official Bloodborne card game, that's right, card game, is coming. So I'll be looking forward to that as well. We'll see just how well the card game does and exactly, all the details to it. Because if it's structured well, I'm sure this will do well. I mean, hell, if you look at the card games from Final Fantasy, they were great for their time, And as you know, Magic and all those, people still play those stuff. You know what I mean? So, also, in more positive news, which is the last bit of positive news, a Japanese arcade chain, Round 1, is opening in Pennsylvania, New York, and many other places. That's right. So this Japanese arcade chain will be coming to the West and pretty much, it's already in the West. Some people have already said, they used to have it, where they were living. But it's going to be, pretty much spawning up. And, I put it like this. Go out and support it. Go support it. Because this is how you get your arcades back. Seriously. Like, in PA where this is at, this is in Exton. So I would have to travel a bit to get to Exton, but I wouldn't mind traveling a bit to get to Exton just to go over there and see what it's about. Go out and support it, because for as much as we've talked about arcades, now you have your chance. If you show them that, look, this is something that we like, more people will show up, And then what happens when more people show up? More revenue comes in, which means, hey, we're making a profit off of this. We can make another arcade somewhere else. So it goes to show you that now it's put up or shut up time as far as I'm concerned. This video in general, put up or shut up. You know what I mean? You got people trying to invade your video games, celebrities trying to come in and invade your video games. As we know, there are some celebrities or professional athletes that do play video games, but not all of them. We also know there's a lot of people who are frauding out there who said, oh, this is cool, I want to play now. We know that, okay? So, like I said, you gotta defend the ranks. You gotta put the defensive wall up now and say, okay, this is where we're going to have our stand, and you gotta draw up the moat and everything. Anyways, you see what I'm saying. It's time to take action. It's time for people to be called out. It's time. You can't just let this ride, because if you let this ride, then this hobby that you love won't be a hobby anymore. Everyone will be in it. You already see a lot of people saying, the masses look at it as, a specific thing. I can't tell you how many times there's been so much double talk when it comes to gamers. Seriously, we talk about Comic-Con and the way they try to promote it. Get your geek on. Get your geek on, right? It's for geeks. And you see the Big Bang Theory and all this other bullshit, and they try to do these things and try to stereotype how you play games or the culture of comics and stuff like that. Then, when they don't like you, oh, you're nothing but a fucking geek and a fucking loser anyway, blah, blah. Once they've had their way, once they've used you, they can get rid of you at any time. The way to stop that is to not let them use you from the beginning. That's how you got to do it. Start calling them out. Seriously, it's time for everyone to knuckle up and take some challenges. It is. Like I said, call them out. Now, you should know, when you do these call-outs, you know dick riders are going to be around. So if you go on Twitter and call out Rick Fox in a game, man, you just a nerd, you salty, you mad, you don't deserve to play him because of who he is, you know that's exactly what you're going to see. That's the example. So be careful when you do these type of things, because it shows you that, yeah, they love games. They said they're going to double talk you the entire time. Love video games, you're a fucking dork. There's a difference between loving video games, as we know, and people who are just antisocial and they're touched, okay, in the fucking head. Those are the type of people you stay away from. But you should know, as soon as the challenge goes out, there are going to be defenders. You know that. And you should know that they're going to play this game where, as we've seen already in the previous couple of weeks, that's disrespectful. I'm not going to talk to you. But then they start being disrespectful themselves or talk shit themselves. We see this time. As I said, there's so much double talk when it comes to this. This is their way of avoiding specific challenges. But as a group, if people start challenging people, say, hey, I'll play you in this, I'll play you in this, I'll play you in this, and we see it from the community and more people get involved, you can't ignore it. You can't. It's that simple. Like I said, you got to put them on notice. Since you see the plans to do, like I said, it's one thing behind the scenes to throw money and invest. That's one thing. You know what I mean? That's fine. You know what I mean? Even though even that could be kind of troublesome, depending, like I said, depending on who you know and how they're going to take over. That's one thing. But now they're talking about stepping into the arena and going head to head. Yeah. Now it's right to you. It's right in your face. There's nothing else to it. It's time to start taking challenges. Anyways, I'm done for today. Like I said, I'm done. Just be very careful of what you see from here on out, especially with this esports stuff. All right? And, of course, these SJWs, they make themselves look like fucking idiots. I would say try and stay away from it as much as possible. Laugh at it. That's all you can do. Because you know it's bullshit. And when you see the media do this, especially GameSpot, all right? When they write something like this, it's like, yeah, you're a joke. You are. Like I said, why didn't you call for any type of apologies for the Microsoft? Okay, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm sure next week we're going to get into some more shit. I'm sure that there should be a little bit. I'm sure there's going to be some backlash. But hey, it is what it is. I'll talk to y'all then. I'm out.